This is Alabama Politics with Steve Flowers, an in-depth interview with Alabama's top political newsmakers. Now, from the studios of Troy University, here is Steve Flowers.
I'm Steve Flowers, and welcome to Alabama Politics. Folks, we're very fortunate tonight to have as our guest Representative Reed Ingram from here in Montgomery. Reed Ingram was a very popular legislator here in the River region. He's a friend of mine. I like my favorite legislator. He's one of my favorite ones. And he's in a great delegation. You Montgomery and area River region people have got Representative Reed Ingram. He lives in Pike Road, and he's the representative. Get all these areas now. He represents y'all. If you're watching, he's your representative. So y'all call him any problems y'all got. He's got all of Pike Road. He's got all of Winleaks. He's got all of Hampstead. He goes down Taylor Road, gets all that. Do you get Sturbridge too?
I do, yes, sir. Sturbridge
too, and he gets all those areas, and then he goes up and gets Elmore. Tell what areas I've missed, Reed.
Well, I represent the western side of Elmore County and some of the eastern side of Elmore County. I got Emerald Mountain, and I go all the way over to Millbrook and represent the outskirts of Millbrook and Crescenta and Elmore, and it's pretty wide range, pretty diverse, and it's a good district. I enjoy it.
Y'all, Reed Ingram does a good job because he does it like the Constitution envisioned. He's a businessman, citizen legislator. He's a strong businessman. He wears a lot of different hats. He's got a car dealership here in Montgomery. He's got numerous businesses, but the one that's most popular is that Sweet Creek restaurant and store out there on 231. Everybody I know stops there. At Reed Ingram's store, Sweet Creek. He started that store, runs it. He and his wife stay out there all the time. Tell us about that store, Reed.
I tell you, we've been really blessed. We started off with 11 employees, and now we've got nearly 70 full and part-time employees. We grow a lot of what we sell. We're a full farm market and more of an agritourism destination.
I know it.
It's we do a lot of things for the young kids, educating them for future
Y'all
farmers.
in the city limits Pike Road?
We're in town limits Pike Road, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you were born and raised in Pike Road.
I was born and raised in the Pike Road area. I actually I live in the outskirts of Pike Road. I live in a little place called Mamie, Alabama. It's unincorporated. It's just a community, but it's south of Pike Road. But I've always
Pike County.
Yes, sir. I worship in Pike Road, and I started going to school in Pike Road, to the original school in Pike Road a long time ago.
Your daddy was in the car business, but we were talking about our ancestral roots before this, and you've got deep roots in this area. My mama's people were from China Grove, but they were kin to those Grants. She was a Grant from China Grove, I'm kin to Will Barfoot.
Yes, sir.
Way deep, way back in the Grant Barfoots. His ancestors were in South Montgomery County like yours, and which China Grove's almost part of Montgomery County. But we were kin to those Snowden Grants, and you kin by marriage or something to Jimmy Grant.
Jimmy Grant is my wife's cousin. Yes, sir.
That's right, your wife's cousin.
Yes, sir.
Over there, but they settled in that area. But your maternal grandparents had a restaurant on 331. Tell them about that.
Started it back in the 40s. It was called Bob and Mary's, right on 331. It was kind of a destination point going to the beach back then. They served seafood and steaks and all kinds.
Did you ever work there as a little boy?
Never did. They closed it down about 2 years after I was born. Back in, yes, sir. I won't say what year that was.
Was it in Montgomery or Crenshaw County?
Montgomery County. It's right close to Pirtle's Puddle, Winston Pirtle's place down there.
Yeah, you got relatives in Elmore County, don't you?
I do. Most of my people came out of Elmore County originally.
Were you kin to the guy that does prison's name after J.F. Ingram?
Yes, sir, in a roundabout way. Yes, sir. It's my grandfather's cousin, I guess. Yes,
is it a prison up there?
It is.
Ingram
yes,
prison?
a correction. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What was his position? They named that thing after him.
I'm really not sure. Didn't know him that well.
Do you get any of the prisoners in your district?
Got a lot of them in my district up in Elmore County, and I've got.
You've got all the prisoners up there.
I don't want to say all of them, but I've got the majority of them, and a lot of my
Draper and Ingram are in your district.
A lot of people work there.
Yeah,
that's right. Yes, sir. And then Kilby.
You know, you got some folks who work at Kilby.
Yes, sir.
But now listen, Reed, we were talking about this before the show. people didn't realize this. I've over with old state employees, and old Matt MacArthur loves to tell people that. He's one of our best mutual friends. He loves you.
I think the world of him. He's a great guy.
He almost goes to your store weekly, if not daily.
He lives right down the road.
That's why,
yes,
why he goes
about
there.
2 miles.
He always wants to meet me for lunch there. And anyway, we were talking one day. He always brings you up in the conversations, but our ancestors are kind of kin. But he was talking about my state employee voting record. I had a 100% voting record with state employees. And I said, well, Mac, the reason I did, I knew my district. And Pike County had a lot of state employees because we had a proximity to Montgomery, and we had a division highway office there. Right. But your district has got as high as anybody in the state.
I would say it would be the top 1 or 2, or top 2 or 3 probably. You know, a lot of them migrated to Elmore County. We used to have a lot in Montgomery County, but if they do, the majority of them are on that side of town. Yes, sir, my district.
Reed, so you know a lot of people in person in your district, don't you?
I do, yes, sir. Born and raised here.
Yeah, you got kin folks and everything.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Reed, tell me about your wife. Now, where's she from?
She's originally from.
But she kind of grew up here, though.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Her family was a preacher or something.
He was a pastor at Del Rey Baptist. And then he moved to Greenville, South Carolina. Took on a big church up there. And then she moved back when she graduated college and went to work for Jack Ingram Motors, which was my grandfather, and that's how we met.
Well, now y'all have 2 sons.
We do, yes, sir.
Where are they both here in Montgomery?
They are, yes, sir. One runs my dealership. He'll be he's a 4th generation car dealer. And
how old is he?
He is 30. He's 36. Expecting my first grandchild too.
Yeah, so he married a Montgomery girl?
He did not. He married one come out of. I think she came out of Texas originally, but they were Air Force. And they moved around.
Now, so he's gonna have your first grandchild.
My first grandchild.
Gonna be a boy or girl? Do you know?
We don't know. September will be born. I told him I didn't want to know.
They know. They used to tell me.
No, they're so early along. They don't know yet. They don't know. And
I bet your wife's excited about it.
She is. Yes, sir. Yes.
So your first grandbaby. What are they gonna call you?
I don't know. That's been a real good question. I didn't want to be called granddaddy. You know, it's kind of the probably Pops or something. I don't know. Something.
I've got a granddaughter that's 7 years old. When she first started talking, do you know what she named me?
What's that?
Geese.
Geese.
That's my name, Geese, like the bird.
Huh.
I don't know how she got that. We were swimming one day, and I said, she was starting to talk, and I said, Jenny, what does she call me? She said, Dad, she calls you Geese. Huh. Have you ever heard anybody call their granddaddy Geese?
Never heard of that.
Like the bird, you know?
Huh.
I think she thinks I'm this overgrown oaf that hangs out.
Oh, no.
You'll go
but
crazy.
That's kind of, I can't wait. I can't wait. I had my kids early, and so I've been praying for grandkids for a long time.
Chris, you and Chris Sell's a good friend.
He is a great guy.
I want you to be on the show every year if you will.
I would love to.
Because, see, most of my viewing audience is in the river region, those areas we talked about. Tell me what committees you on.
Well, I chair county municipal.
Because you were county commissioner.
That's right. Yes,
Before that, that's how many terms were you a county commissioner?
2 terms, 2.5 terms.
That's why you got such a good name ID.
Well, I appreciate it.
In that district.
I appreciate it. And then I'm on ag.
You wanted, that's the committees you asked to be on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't do any farming, do you?
I do. I farm.
Do you?
I got cattle, and we farm a lot of the stuff that we sell at the farm market. We grow a lot of produce.
Did you have an opponent this last time?
I did not.
That's right. They thought you were going to run for that Senate seat. You'd won that Senate seat if you wanted to run for it. I thought that was real respectful of you because you feel like you didn't have time to serve that big an area.
Well, and not only that, Steve, I think that, I just didn't feel like that. I just got elected to the House, and I didn't want to use it as a ladder.
Right.
I was, we polled it. It was polled really good, and me and Will are good friends. And matter of fact, that when I was a commissioner, I had appointed him to a committee, a volunteer fire department committee, and he does a great job. And there's no need to run in my idea. There's no need to run for a position. There's already somebody good running. So I didn't want to use my position as a ladder to climb. I felt like that I had a little more seniority if I would stay and
you like
leadership.
McCutcheon, don't you?
I do. He's a great guy. He's a really good guy.
Told you Steve Klaus is my best friend.
I tell you.
Take the general fund, Ways and Means, that's a tough job,
That's
isn't
a tough job. and he's lost a lot of hair over that. He's lost a lot of hair over that. But you know, I don't know if anybody do a better job, Steve, with that, with Ways and Means.
He's a good fellow. He's honest as days long.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. The boy I was going to tell you about, old Mac MacArthur. We both love Mac, and I don't know if you can share this story with him. He comes on the show once a year like you do. We talk about what happened in the legislature and how it affected state employees or something. And Mac, he worked for Bill Baxley as a young man. Mac's a lawyer. He got a law degree. And he was head of the Ethics Commission. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Mac was head of the Ethics Commission about 4 or 5 years, way back yonder. And he was going to run for Attorney General. Did you know that?
I did not know that
Yeah,
either.
he was going to run for Attorney General. He was getting ready. And he had hired somebody. One of the first things you do is you hire somebody to take a benchmark poll, like you said you did in that Senate seat, which told you do well. Well, he hired this real good pollster. I ain't gonna call his name, but he was the best one known in the state. And it ain't Jerry, who's kin to you, Jerry Ingram. It was another one. But anyway, Mac was anxious, and Mac thought he'd look pretty good because he got some favorable publicity recently as Ethics Commission chairman. He made some ruling or something.
Right.
And the guy called him up and said, I got good news for you. Come on over here on your name ID. And he went over there, and Mac said, what do you think? He said, you got good name ID. You got 5 or 6% name identification statewide. And Mac's mouth fell open and said, well, what's so good about that? He says, the only thing good I know about is I can run through Winn-Dixie butt naked and nobody know who I am.
Wow.
But people don't realize that you ain't got no name ID. You know, now you do in your district.
But not
But statewide, you know, they'd think, well, he's kin to Bob Ingram, the former writer or something, you know, that is what they'd think. But Mac, he said, well, that ain't that good. Legislators have that bad impression that everybody knows them because you're in an important position. I mean, you're in a powerful position because you make the state budgets, but you don't get any name identification.
Right.
Whenever a legislator tries to run statewide,
it's not very well. Bentley did, but that was a rare case.
Well, he when he started out, he had about 5%.
That's exactly
the same way.
That's
When it
exactly
wasn't from the legislators, they thought that. Anyway, someone like Dale Marsh, for example,
right?
He's a very powerful legislator, but he wouldn't have any more name ID than you do.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you come from a metropolitan area, so you'd have some that are outside your district that's seen you on television here in Montgomery.
Right.
So you'd have a little higher,
Bit.
possibility. But Marsh ain't got any name ID. I mean, they don't know. Plus, the bound side of it, Reed, is you got a record.
That's right.
So if you were running for state lieutenant governor or something, first of all, the benchmark polls say, Reed, you got 3 or 4% name identification. Most of it's in Montgomery, in the River region. And second of all, here's an 8-year voting record. They can take your record,
spin it any way they want to.
to.
That's right.
The worst thing I had people don't realize this, in the legislature, is you develop a horrible voting record because average people don't realize that half the votes you vote on are local bills.
That's right.
For other counties. Well, Fayette County may want to pass a tax for firefighters. Or Mobile, then they've come asking you to let them do it because our Constitution is so archaic that a county government's got to come and do everything they want to do.
And if it's a CA, you know, it's
you voted for it.
That's right.
You voted for taxes, or if you took the position, I'm not going to vote for anything
You
because
abstained.
you got a voting record that way. You say, well, look at the old Flowers didn't vote but 10% of the time. Well, it's because I didn't vote on Fayette County whether they want a tractor or not.
That's right.
You know, anyway.
And that's more than half of the.
I know
bills,
it. But when we'd spend half the morning talking about Jefferson County's local bills.
I tell you, that's been a lot of drama.
Well, see, y'all have got the same potential problem because any metropolitan area's got a very diverse district. I mean, there's 10 of y'all in there in the whole delegation.
That's right.
Sales even comes in and gets part of it. So.
And you got Calvin Lawrence. That's from Lowndes County.
See there?
That's right.
I mean, you come in there from all that area, and local bills is what people do a lot of time. I didn't mean to get off on that.
No.
What do you think of Kay Ivey came in the inaugural address in the State of the Union and clearly said she thought we needed to raise taxes for roads and bridges. Our gas tax hadn't been raised in quite a few years.
In the 90s, since
27 years, and cars don't use as much fuel. I have come out, and I'm not that it matters what I think, but I've written, I thought we probably ought to do something, because I don't think you can grow as a state unless you have some roads.
You know, infrastructure is very important. Even the roads and bridges we have now, the bridges are a 50-year lifespan, and we've got over 50% of them, they're over 50 years old.
They're dangerous.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
For school buses.
School buses
Trucks.
and trucks and passenger cars. No economic development projects are going out to the Black Belt area because the bridges are so, and I don't want to say just the Black Belt area, but I'm talking about, you know, even Birmingham has got, you know, some issues. But I think it's a must that we do pass something. But it's got to be, you know, I've been in the car business. I'm third generation. And so we've seen cars, like you say, getting a lot more economic to operate. But we also have in the hybrids that are coming in and the electrics coming in. And so they don't pay anything on an electric car, you know. So we're going to try to plug that into this bill that we're working now. And so there'll be something that will be an annual fee, you know, at the tax time. I mean, at the tag time on the renewal. But, you know, it's something that we've got to do, but we've got to make it to where it's going to be not a burden so much on the citizens. That it's a good balance. They're getting a good product, and it's going to be earmarked for projects that are not just thrown into the Department of Transportation to do what they want to with.
Reed, have you got any project you really think needs badly for your district?
I think we really need to do finish the outer loop. Yeah. Because it's dangerous. We've started it. We should never have started it until we had all the money to get it to 231.
That's on the drawing board for the new plan.
It's on the drawing board. But the thing about it is now it's taking trucks off of 85 and putting them on county roads. And we've got a lot of people out there riding bikes and walking, and it's new neighborhoods through Pike Road. So it's really thrown a
so that's what that'd be a priority
factor
for your district.
I think I would love to see that be completed. You know, it probably would hurt my business that's down there because it would be south of it.
That's
but
right.
I don't mind. I'd sacrifice that to get that safety project done. But it's going to come right there at Trotman Road, so it'd be further south. I see,
right below you.
Yes, sir. It'd be further south than me.
Did you know Mr. Bubba?
I do. I did.
He was a great man. He was
a
Troy man, you know.
You know, I bought that property that Sweet Creek's sitting on from Mr. Trotman.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a tough negotiator. Tough negotiator.
Was he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He and my mama finished school together.
He was a good man.
He was a good man. I remember coming home one day and telling Mama, I said, Mama, I believe Mr. Bubba Trotman's one of the finest Southern gentlemen I've ever known. And she said, he was just that way growing up. He was just that.
He's a class act.
He was that way growing up. I had Mr. Bubba on one of my first shows. I used to film this show in Troy, and he came down. He come to Troy all the time. He loved Troy. He was born and raised there, you know. And so he would come down there. And anyway, I didn't mean to get off on that. You know, one thing in the infrastructure thing that people are overlooking, and a point I want to make, and I want to make at this point, is the timing of this is so important, Reed, because we're never going to have the chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee with Senator Shelby again.
You're right.
And he knows how to bring home the bacon, and it's just never going to occur. It's just a unique thing. You'd have the chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee, and it's about time that the federal government did something too, and that's about the only thing. He's told me that's about the only thing that that they can agree on up there, because both Democrats and Republicans realize the need for infrastructure. And so he's going to work on it, but he's got to have the matching dollars. You've got 28 states have already come to the table and done it.
Right.
To get ready for this federal. You got to draw down that federal money. If you don't have the state dollars,
you're going to be further behind than you've ever been.
You will, and see, we lose the fact that he's chairman of the thing. But when you also change, another thing is that when we talk about infrastructure, people don't realize how much potential Huntsville is going to grow over the next 10 years. I don't mean to take one part of the state in favor of the other, but they are poised to be one of the fastest growing cities in the country.
Yes, sir.
And another aspect is, and Shelby again told me this the other night, we were sitting there visiting, and he says, do you know that that port in Mobile cannot even take the Mercedes vehicles that are being made in Tuscaloosa?
Yes,
it's got to be widened. And when you say infrastructure, so two of the biggest money makers for the state, Huntsville and Mobile Port, have got to be done something with. I mean, it's got to be deepened and widened,
Right.
to compete.
And that's part of this bill.
Yeah.
It's that the revenue would be going toward to improve that port.
It's got to be.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's a shame that those cars are being made here in the state.
I know.
And
we
you
can't
can't-
even ship them out.
you can't ship 'em
on,
out.
We have to put them on rail or haul them out. We can't even.
I
can't
wondered
even-
about the Honda cars here. I guess how they ship them out of here. Do you know?
They go to another port, I think in Florida. I'm not sure, or North Carolina.
Jacksonville?
Yes, sir.
That's a
Yes, sir.
shame,
It
isn't it?
is a shame. Yes, sir. And as many automakers as we have, with Toyota and a lot of the Mercedes and, like you say, the Hondas, et cetera, et cetera.
I bet you when you get out
Honda.
and visit, you didn't have an opponent this time, so you really didn't have to campaign. There are a lot of Korean executives that live in your district, aren't
They are a lot.
A lot of them at Wind Lakes, aren't they?
Yes, sir. A lot of them in Sturbridge, Wind Lakes, and Pike Road, and
Uh-huh.
a lot of them chose that school, just because of the environment that we're in now with our scores in Montgomery, which I hope we can turn that around. in our
Kay
public
Ivey
education.
also mentioned prison reform, which affects your district too.
It does.
I think we're under federal court. I actually think Myron Thompson's been somewhat lenient with us.
He's very lenient.
I mean, we're under the gun on that thing too.
I tell you, and mental health is the biggest
Yeah.
thing, Steve. It's we've got to do something with mental health on the grassroots basis. We've got state prisoners in our county jails, and we need more people out checking on these mental health patients. And I think it would, instead of mopping the floor, I think we need to fix the leak. I know we do. We just got to figure out how to get there. But the mental health is huge in our prisons.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, are we going to have to build new prisons, or how's that going to work? You don't want them to close down your prisons in your district, though.
I don't want them to close them down. A lot of those prisons we have a lot of property, where it's sitting. And I would
Exactly.
like to see that done. We've already got the workforce there. I wouldn't want them moved out of my district by no means. I would like to see, larger bricks and mortar, or them be improved. It's no need to abandon one and go start another one.
Can she do something can she do that prison reform by herself, or does she have to have legislation on that?
For the funding, it's got to come to us.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think she can do it on her own. If they were Bentley, it would have already.
He would have done it.
Yeah, when he first appointed, the commissioner, Jeff.
Y'all gonna have your plate full, aren't you?
We will. It's going to be an interesting year, and Steve, we've got so many freshmen,
I know it.
We've got, I think, 24, no, maybe 26 freshmen in the House. And the Senate's had a big turnover as well.
13 out of 20, 35.
That's crazy. So it's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of unsettledness when they first get in there, and there's some really good guys. Some of them have
But
never
they're
been
gonna
in
be
politics.
antsy about whether they're gonna vote for tax or not.
Or not vote. That's right. That's right.
That's where the rubber's gonna hit the road. What those new ones are gonna do? They don't want to go in the first thing and they vote for a tax.
And I don't think you're going to see very many Democrats vote for this tax, infrastructure tax.
But the reason is that they don't think they're gonna get their fair share. Is that
Well,
what you think? Or
I don't
what?
think so. I think they want us to fall on our own sword. They want us to do it. And they're tired of being the minority, and they're tired of us being the supermajority. And at least they could get it loosened up a little bit at the next cycle, and say,
So
hey,
they're gonna vote. The Democrats gonna be in a block against the.
a no. They're going to be a no vote, I would think. And
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
that's the way it was last year. We tried to get this passed. I think there were two or three vote for it. And so I think you're going to see about the same pattern. But I think if we were to hold them accountable, I don't want to say hold them hostage or hold them accountable, but let their county commission know how important that money is back at their district, and that they really need it, because if you're going to do A-trip projects or whatever the projects may be in that county, they've got to have that improvement on that county road in the same way your municipalities.
Who is a county commissioner that parallels your district in Montgomery County?
Doug Singleton.
I like
Yeah.
him. I've
He's
met
a
him
great
numerous
guy.
times. Yeah.
He's very
Did
proactive.
he follow you, or was it somebody between y'all?
Well, no, there was somebody between us. I don't remember who the governor appointed. I can't think of his name now, but he stayed in there a short
But
time.
he stayed.
That's right.
Singleton beat him.
That's right.
Is Singleton's district about like your house district?
Well,
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
He
mirrors
has Pike Road.
The Montgomery part of it. It doesn't take in all of Wind Lakes. It takes in about half of it, and it doesn't take in Arrowhead. So it kind of cuts off. He represents more of the Sturbridge, and then down 231, and then cuts back over to Raymer. It's about as far as diversity, is about a 62%. My district in the House is about a 73% Republican.
His is 60 what?
62, 63%. Yeah.
What
But
are the final issues you see on the table? Y'all got any local bills y'all going to have trouble with?
I don't know of any local bills other than the sheriff needs to be, his pay is being adjusted. The county commission is asking for a expense raise. I don't know where I'm at on that yet. But I think the sheriff is, he needs to be compensated a little bit more. It's been sitting there for a long time. You know,
He doesn't do any of those tricks like they do up gas and get food money.
No, on the jail, and
yeah.
no sir. And Cunningham does a great job. I mean,
I knew he did,
we're
yeah.
really blessed to have him, and we're really blessed to have Bill Franklin. We've improved his salary last year, and
People don't realize that's the chief police for Pike Road.
well, it's the chief police for the county. I mean, he
Yeah.
trumps the chief of police in Montgomery. He's a head constitutional officer as
Yeah.
far as the law enforcement.
Yeah.
And
But y'all ain't got, Pike Road ain't got a police department.
no, Pike Road, that is it. That is it. Now, Pike Road buys them some cars and does their fair share and pays, gives them some money. But, yeah, that's, and as far as all the warrants being served in Montgomery County, they do all that. So it's a tough job.
He's a good man.
He is.
Well, Reed, our time's up. I like to have Reed Ingram on the show every year, y'all. He's a great guy and a great legislator and does a good job. He's a good citizen legislator and an outstanding gentleman. And we appreciate Reed Ingram taking time to be with us tonight. And we thank you viewers for watching. Hope you tune in again next week for Alabama Politics. Thank you, Representative Ingram.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir.